What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. What's going on, Adrian?
Nothing much, man. Just checking out, you know what I mean, the gun show. Making sure everything is looking okay in the mirror.
All right. You've been hitting the gym lately? You've been working out?
You know what I'm talking about, man? Been working a little bit, been walking, you know, trying to eat a little better overall. So I'm down a few pounds, you know, just trying to feel a little better. But yeah, man, I'm doing good. Let me tell you, man, this Monday was, you know how sometimes, you know, they can push you to the brink.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of them. This is one of those Mondays, man.
No.
I crawled out the other side, made it through. It's okay. We lived, you know.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But it wasn't nearly as I mean, my how should I say gap between the episodes wasn't nearly as eventful as yours, Mr. Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
You want to tell the good people what happened in your neck of the woods?
It's pretty interesting, you know. There's a lot going on. What he's referencing is I finished building my Metal Gear Rex model. It's pretty sick. Check that
yes, your Metal Gear Rex model. That's what I'm referencing.
Check that baby out. I just finished that a little bit ago, and boy, does that feel good to finally have that done.
Is that painted? No, right?
No, it's not. So what do you remember it looking like in the PS1 game? It's like gray, right? I mean, it's like different shades.
I think it's gray because it was tan in 2, wasn't it? The Metal Gear in 2. When you're sneaking around it, yeah.
The one. The Marine one is tan, but then later on, the one it's like a bluish grayish color.
Okay.
But no, in the instruction manual for that thing, it shows that it's actually supposed to be camouflage in the like black
PS1 couldn't render it.
I guess, yeah, it's like a black and gray like camouflage scheme. And I'm like, I don't remember it looking like that. I haven't actually like looked it up or played the game recently to like double check. But it's like I just remember it being gray. So it even has like a whole like all the color codes. Like if you want to do it color correct, you know exactly what it was in the concept art. I'm like, nah, I'm good. This is how I remember it, so I'm just gonna leave it as is.
Hey, that's fine.
But no, what Adrian is actually talking about is this weekend got a little fender bender. Yeah, we were up in Big Bear, hanging out with some friends, had a good old time, and then literally the day we're getting ready to head home, just a mere hours before we're gonna drive home. We were sitting in traffic and just got rear-ended by a big old truck, big old Toyota Tundra Overland Edition.
By an 18-wheeler Mack truck, a semi, if you will.
No, if that happened, we'd be dead. So fortunately, we are not dead.
But this is why you made it. That's why I said Fast and Furious, because you beat the odds just like they always do.
I see.
You were trying to send your car into space, and you know
it didn't quite work out.
Yeah,
but man, what a bummer that was. I was like, man, this was a good weekend until then. This was kind of a way to end the weekend with a bang. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer. I mean, we're all doing all right. Boys were a little shaken up. No one was injured as far as we can tell. So yeah, just now it's dealing with the insurance company. So my Monday was also a very Monday today. And I was like, oh, woof, this is not
You know
fun.
what I mean? You can't appreciate the Mondays that aren't so bad if you don't have bad Mondays. So
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
that checks out.
We'll just let, you know, we'll say we're stocking up for a okay Monday based on today. We got one coming.
There we go. But yeah, so we're all good. Just in case anyone's wondering, we're good. Car will hopefully get taken care of soon. It's just it's never a good time to get in an accident, but boy, when like you're unemployed and money's already tight and we only have one car, and like I'm trying to find a job and Trudy also has things she needs to get to, it's like, oh, this makes it infinitely harder and more scary, like financially, when it's like you got to pay a deductible.
I hear you, brother.
The other person might not have insurance, so now like what stuff's coming out of our pocket at the moment. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers that we get through this quickly and with minimal headaches.
And of course, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad it wasn't that big a deal. It was just something eventful.
100%, 100%. At the end of the day, it's one of those things. It's like, it's hard not to just kind of chuckle about it a little bit. My whole life, I've always said to people, like, I have the worst luck. If something can go wrong, it probably will. No,
that's fair. I feel you.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's not always catastrophic. Sometimes it's like something little, like everything goes really well, and then one little
those
thing,
are the worst ones.
It's like, yep.
When you're having a good day, and it's just one little thing that throws it off.
And it's not horrendous. It doesn't like ruin the day. But it's also like, it's just, it was almost like everything almost went off without a hitch, and then it's like one thing. So it's almost like looking back. It's like, yeah, that checks out. It was a great weekend, and then we just give her ended. Whatever. But we are safe. We are alive. We made it home. And thank you to Geico. Geico, if you want to sponsor Super Gamer Boys podcast. Oh, man.
I mean, you joke.
They took care of me.
But you have a legitimate.
So fast. Like all weekend, I was dealing with the other person's insurance. And finally today, I'm just like, you know what? All right, I just got to deal with ours. I was on the phone with them. They're like sending me money for new car seats, like literally on the phone. Like they got me an appointment within like 45 minutes to get my car. And I'm like, Geico, you're the freaking best. Like they just took care of us immediately. It's like, man, this is. I mean,
they don't even have to pay for the ad. You literally lived it. So I feel like if they were going to sponsor us, it would be this right here.
Yep. Yeah. So Geico, get at us. I'll praise your company to that.
We got so many people that we need like to sponsor us. It's Geico, Liquid Death.
Super Gamer Boys brought to you by Geico.
You joke, man. I'm never saying never. I don't know.
You never know.
Who else? Oh, Gamer Subs. What's going on with that?
Yeah, you really want that one to go through.
I want that one to go through bad. I want that one to go through real bad. Not necessarily sponsored, but I'm still on the hook to be, not on the hook, but like on the campaign to be a Playdate ambassador. I don't know what I have to do to that. I don't know what I have to do. I don't know even if there is an ambassador program. You know what? I should reach out. I know people at Panic. Why don't I do that?
Reach out and be like, hey, is there any way I could become a brand ambassador for you guys? Like,
why don't I just do? Okay.
Even if it's just like we get a code, so when people buy stuff, we get a little like, a little ping like, oh, Super Gamer Boy sold another one. That'd be sick.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably sold like 6 or 7 at this point. So
it's true. It's true.
Just throwing that out there.
Oh man. All right. Well, I need to introduce one more friend of the show here.
Yeah, who's got the night off.
Major part of the show. Yeah, they do have the night off, but we'll still introduce him. The heavyweight bot casting champion of the world, Super Gamer Bot.
Woo!
That's right. They're not going to be around tonight.
That's my pal over there.
Spoiler.
In sleep mode.
Spoiler alert. No questions were sent in. We received no. Actually,
for shame.
I take that back. No. I take it back. I take it all back. We did not have questions, but we had someone submit a form on our website, and I forgot to read it last week. It was
what?
It's Randy wrote back. Remember? Or
was it? Yeah. What did I call him? I was like, Randy, if your name. Oh my god.
We mixed because he gave 2 different names that first time.
Right.
We mixed them together, and now I can't remember what it was.
That's so annoying. I can't remember. It was such a good bit too.
It was Randy and then Roger. So I don't remember what name he came up with, but
wasn't it Ranger or something like that? I feel like it was.
It was something silly. It was real silly. So we'll get to his form submission in a bit.
Good. I'm glad to hear from him.
Today we're going to be talking about GameInformer's sudden shutdown and just straight up deletion, just evaporated from the earth. Absolutely crazy. So we'll talk about that. Another round of Bungie layoffs. I said that, but now that happened like last year, right? They had some layoffs earlier this year. Okay. I just wanted to double check. I put that on the show notes. I'm like, wait a second. Did they have one before? Another round of Bungie layoffs. And Xbox's Avowed has been delayed to next year for a very silly reason. I can't wait for that one. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smash and Kajoma01, and our super gamer sponsors. We got Julie Bates, we got Mama Mare, we got Carrie, and now David Matthews. Let's go
to
a brand new Super Gamer sponsor. Thank you so much for supporting us over there at patreon.com/supergamerboys. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, get your names shouted out at the top of the show, or hey, maybe you just got $1 to throw our way and you want some episodes early and ad free. You can go over there, support us, and get those things I mentioned, early and ad-free episode shout-outs. You can get access to Patreon exclusive shows. You can be a Patreon producer and pitch us show segments. We'll talk more about that stuff later on. But boy, was I so excited to get that new Patreon supporter. Thank you so much to all you folks who support us each and every week. We appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
And for those who don't, stay tuned. We'll talk more about it during our ad later. Huge shout-out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on our show. Currently, today, we are listening to the Jack Sriracha and Yate playlist, which I need to update because I think they have some new music. Although I don't know if it's on Apple Music yet. Is it on Apple Music yet? Because
it better be, or I'm gonna send a very angrily worded letter.
Okay. Because the last I knew, I was just a Bandcamp thing and SoundCloud, but I wasn't sure if it ever got bumped over to everything else. So if it is, then we'll see.
We're gonna have to bully them like we bullied Trooz. That's fine. Do what we gotta do.
Yeah, there we go. I also see on their social media they've been working on new stuff, and I'm liking the sound of it. So go check them out. Apple Music and Spotify. You can find their links in the show description if you're watching on YouTube or podcast apps. Check that out. Go listen to them. Good stuff. All right. It's time to check the mail.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, it is just without.
It would be if we had mail. If we
did. We got.
If we had mail.
Remember, we got the form submission.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about the general mail. Let me make them feel bad for a second.
Okay, go ahead. Make them feel bad. They deserve it. Let me turn on my fan while you make them feel bad.
If we had mail, like how we tell you every week to put it in the Discord, to submit to the mailbag, or even just to tag us on social media with a question that you want to have put in the show. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a whole bunch of avenues to track us down and say, hey, I got a question for you. Something. Just saying. Anyway.
Just saying.
Back to you.
Just saying. Also, shout out to Lula Mari Mouse for subscribing over on Twitch. I just heard it in my ear holes. Thank you so much.
Is that insider trading? She technically is a pseudo staff member.
I mean, it's not insider trading if we don't pay her, right?
Fair enough.
Let's not give her any ideas, though. Anyways, this form submission comes to us from supergamerboys.com, which is it's so fun to get these because boy, was that mailbox dusty. We haven't gotten a form submission in a hot minute. It's been years. And so when Roger or Randy or whatever their name is, Rander, I think that's what it was. Maybe, I don't know.
Ranger, I think. Yeah, Ranger.
It was very exciting. And then, a couple weeks later, on July 22nd, we got a new one. Hey, boys. He does start it off. Ranger here. It was Ranger.
There we go.
Hey boys, Ranger here. Yeah, the PSVR 2 cinematic mode guy again. And yes, I felt compelled to gravitate back to supergamerboys.com to keep it up and running with my now second submission. Up until a few months ago, I had zero interest in Avatar, the movie, or the games. However, my father-in-law sat me down and had me watch both movies back to back.
Yikes. Your whole day was done for at that point. You woke up watching Avatar, and as soon as it was over, all right, time to go to bed. That was it.
That sounds almost as bad as watching all three of the extended Lord of the Rings movies in a row.
No, wait a minute. Now that's event viewing. Hold on, you're talking about two different experiences there. One of them you're experiencing an epic tale. The other one
is Lord of the Rings.
You better be glad you're in San Diego. You better be glad you're in. I'll be on my way over there right now.
I kid. I love Lord
disrespect
of the
one of the best, some of the best movies ever made. Watch out.
No. I love the Lord of the Rings. It's just what hurt it for me was watching all 3 extended editions back to back to back in one day. It's not that they were bad, but by the end, I was like, I don't ever want to watch Lord of the Rings, or at least not for a long time. And that's exactly how it's been. I think that was back in 2012, and I have not watched Lord of the Rings since then. I'm about due.
You are past due.
I've gotten the hankering lately to jump back in.
Man.
I have I have them in 4K now, so I'm like, okay, let's watch them in some.
I'm so
4K.
jealous. I keep saying I'm gonna get them in 4K. I should have gone ahead and when they brought out the first special editions and they had like all that fancy packaging and stuff. Should have just went ahead and did it. Didn't even think about it. But I think it was the theatrical cuts only.
Okay.
So maybe that's why I didn't do it, or why I didn't feel compelled to go all the way with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I was like, okay, let's give this the old shot, but I haven't actually jumped in yet. You know, it needs to be something. I need to convince my wife first too, because I think she likes them. I guess I don't know.
I was gonna say, I feel like because if you both like it, it's pretty
basically
easy.
Like I watched the extended editions before we were even dating. And so, like I said, I haven't watched them since then. So it's never been a topic of conversation. So I don't even know if my wife likes the Lord of the Rings. I mean,
you could always
would.
you could rent them. Or no, you said you already have them. I guess just sit her down one day and be like, hey, now you guys are going to probably have to watch it in hour chunks because you have 2 little tornadoes running around the house. And there's no way they're going to let you sit for 4 hours and watch a movie.
Oh, it's strictly an after bedtime thing in our home. There's no way we don't watch any TV or movies while they're awake because it's not possible. Okay. There's unless it's Octonauts or frickin' Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Anyways, we should get back to this form submission. He was talking about Avatar.
Oh yeah, sorry.
The first one was like
okay.
Okay.
The first one is honestly
good
no
at the time.
Wait a minute. The first one is okay. It was carried by the fact that by the moment it was released in, right? Like we hadn't ever seen anything like Avatar at the time that it came out.
Oh, totally. That's what I was getting. Yeah, at the time.
That's what shot it over the hump, over the hill. Otherwise, it's just your average, like, you know what I mean, Pocahontas, like.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. The second
I
one
will
I've not
100%
seen still. I have, but I heard it wasn't great. So
I don't have 4 hours to dedicate to something that's not Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Were you gonna say more?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that. I will 100% give Avatar its credit in that part. Like I remember seeing it in 3D, the first one, and being like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like this before."
Yeah.
But then when you don't watch it in 3D, it's like, oh, this is okay, I guess. You know.
I mean, and years later, like again, at the time, it was incredible. Now it's like, oh,
everything looks like that now.
Yeah, it's like what everything looks like now.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a few days with him about a month ago and bought Frontiers of Pandora. That was a Ubisoft game, which the one that I talk crap about because the trailer that they showed at the Game Awards looked like it was a PS2 game.
Which apparently we're crazy because everybody was like, oh my God, that game looks so good.
Yeah, so later on, I looked it back up on YouTube and in the 4K version of the video, it did look very, very pretty.
Okay.
So it was just, for some reason, the Game Awards aired an incredibly trashy version. It must have been like
their own YouTube rip,
like 210p or something like that. Like it was like just exactly.
Not even 240. It was 210.
Sorry, 240. It was bad because the whole time I'm like, this looks so terrible. This is like the freaking PS2 game. Like what's going on? Everyone's like, this game looks so gorgeous and amazing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I figured I figured this would charge him up since he's new to open world games. He thought it was great. The game didn't really grab me at first, but I kept playing and became more and more absorbed. I ended up finishing the game the night before the new release DLC Skybreaker was released. I didn't realize there was DLC.
There's DLC?
Interesting. I found the DLC much meatier than expected and very well done. One question answered and one question asked. I'll answer the question from episode 256, which was, what was your favorite fictional character to have as a best friend? Well, my buddy, the last month or two, has been my Ikran Talisi. So so that was a listener question from 256. What's your favorite fictional character as a best friend? Ranger here would like to have his Ikran Telesi, which Ikran is like the flying creatures from Pandora. Who's been my faithful companion who flew by my side during the most intense Pandora battles. Your Ikran will even catch you midair if you fall or jump from any precarious situations. What a bud. Now my question is, have you boys played Avatar Frontiers of Pandora? What did you think? P.S. I did play Avatar in cinematic mode, if you're wondering, and I agree with Garrett. My game of the year thus far is Final Fantasy Rebirth as well. What an experience. To answer that question, no, we have not touched Avatar Frontiers.
I love how you said we, like you just knew I didn't.
I know.
Play it
I know you. I know you have not played that game. If out of the two of us, I would be the most like
shocked if I was the one that played it and you didn't.
Oh, yeah. What I was gonna say, I would be the like if out of the two of us, I'd probably be the one who played it, and if I haven't played it, you definitely haven't played it. you are a man of taste, a man of culture. You only play the finest of video games.
Wait, no, that makes it sound like we're ragging on Ranger's game. Look, no. It's just not our thing. If you loved it, of course. As we always say, we never want any game to fail or any game to be bad. And to be honest, the lowest rated game is somebody's favorite game, no matter what it is.
100%.
So I love games that people say are bad. Okay, sorry. I'm a huge Final Fantasy 13 fan of that trilogy, and the consensus is that it's not a good game, even though it's responsible for all the good Final Fantasies that you have out right now. It's the blueprint for it, but nobody wants to have that conversation. It's okay. It's all right. So I say that to say, I know what you're talking about. Me and you, we're right here.
Heck yeah. Yeah, no, my comment was more directed at like our previous opinion of the game based off of like that Game Awards announcement trailer. Like we very much were like, nope, we're not playing this.
All right.
And yeah, I feel like also I don't remember hearing much about it after it came out too. Like it just kind of came out and then kind of moved on. And so for me, with having like, all right, we have limited budget on games we buy, it didn't make that big of a stink. It's not like in Game of the Year running, then probably not going to get it, you know. But it does, now hearing your account of it does have me more interested in it. So it's probably one of those, like if it ever goes on sale or like PlayStation Plus gives it away for free or something like that, or Steam gives it away for free, or not Steam, Epic gives away free games. Then it's like, all right, I might get it, try it out for sure now. Like now I'm interested. But
is it in story continuity? Like, do you have to watch the movies before you play this, or is it its own thing?
I don't know. I feel like
you have to at least watch the first one, right?
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like I remember hearing it might be a prequel, but I could be totally wrong on that. Like it's leading up to the events of the first one. But I don't quote me on that. Which, just because I say that, everyone on YouTube,
they're gonna do it.
Me.
You said
our comments last week about PSVR 2 are bonkers. I got to talk about that real quick.
Please, I'm excited. I hadn't got a chance to look at any of them. Give me a. What's the all-star ones? That's what I want to hear.
Man, I mean, so none of them are. We didn't get any like crazy ones like what we've done before. Like you know how in the past like we've read them and been like this.
Yeah,
was on crack. We haven't gotten any of that. It's just the one that comes the closest says, "Are you stupido? How else are you going to play both PS5 and PC VR games?" Like it's not even like that mean, but it's just like
what?
It says like what? I don't. I'm not. I'm because I don't need to.
What are we talking
about? Basically, there's just a lot of comments though, being like talking about how wrong we were. Like, and if someone even said like, oh, their information was so incorrect and all this stuff. I'm like, I literally just read a news story. Like.
Top to bottom, like we always do.
I don't know what you want from me. I'm not like how.
Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the article.
People are quoting information about like apparently the reason it drops down the USB-A, like it converts from C to A, is because what it's doing. So the little box here, I'll give you guys all context. We're gonna clear the air. This is what was kind of funny. Call it when you can write in like you're wrong. All right,
you're wrong.
Apparently I was wrong. All right, here's how I was wrong. The box. and has USB-C in the front. That's where you plug your VR headset in. In the back, has a display port in one side and the USB-C to USB-A to your computer on the other side. The USB-A cable, the reason it's fine downgrading to USB-A, because all that's carrying is a... Oh man, I should look this up because now I'm going to misquote it and people are going to get pissed again. It's carrying just a little bit of information, like your controller data and like one other thing. Like it's only...
So where is the rest of the data? Is it getting pushed through the display port?
So all the video is going through display. So it's treating your headset as a monitor, basically.
Well, then what's the point? Well, what is my PC doing? Just rendering the game?
Exactly. So the GPU is rendering the game as if it's another monitor, but it's just the monitor showing on your headset. Which is great. Like
it saves resources. I understand that.
DisplayPort is faster than USB, I think. Oh, I need to stop just talking on my butt.
But it's also what's also baffling to me is, does C not have the capability to stream all that data in one cord?
It does, because that's what I do with my Quest 2.
So what are we doing? It doesn't matter if you're wrong about the box. It's still a dumb idea if I can just do all that same stuff through one C cable.
Oh, I know, Adrian. I know.
Huh?
I know, but that's not what matters.
Matter of fact, they're doing it through one C cable with the PS5.
Exactly.
And it's infinitely less powerful than a PC.
Yeah.
So why am I doing...
How would they make $60 extra, Adrian? How would they make $60 more?
With the games, because they put their games on Steam. That's how.
Lula what do you mean? Says, yelling. We're getting heated up in here, all right? We're angry.
Tell me what I know.
The comments were angry at me, and now I'm angry at the world, all right? That's how this works. Come on. There we go. Everyone's happy now. No more yelling. This is a peaceful show from here on out. Nice. ASMR.
Until we get to the GameInformer story.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're getting in the news stories, which all suck. All right, here we go. That's it for mailbag. I don't know we don't have a jingle there.
We're gonna get sued. Thanks a lot.
We're fine. It was used in parody.
You parody this video game podcast is parodying. I can't even say it. The video game podcast is parodying McDonald's. I want to know what the pipeline is from game news to McDonald's. I need an essay on it by Friday. Okay,
all right.
MLA format.
I'll get it to you and our lawyer as soon as possible. It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes. I saved it. I dropped my mic, but I picked it up.
Good. All right. Boy, I gotta catch my breath. Too much giggling over here.
I need it, man. I need it real bad. So I'll take what I can get.
This first news story comes to us from Forbes, written by Paul Tassi. This is not the original article. This is part 2 of the article, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it. A deleted GameInformer is now redirecting to GameStop's closure statement. So I guess to catch you all up to speed, if you didn't know, GameInformer was shut down by GameStop, who owned them. This is what they posted. The final level. Farewell from GameInformer. After 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of GameInformer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being a part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end.
That's so patronizing the way that it was written, dude.
Yeah.
You guys are gamers. You like me to let me put some charisma in this for you. It's like, bro, just say what you gotta say, like an adult who runs a gaming magazine website. Please, I'm not asking you to write a script for this. Okay.
Well, according to Paul Tassi here, so GameStop suddenly closed one of the most venerated outlets in video game journalism yesterday, laying off its entire staff, with many being informed by a statement that appears to be written by AI. So that's like the speculation out there. That's what it feels like. Feels like someone just wrote closing statement.
You know what?
And just like AI spit that out.
You know what? You might be right. Now that I'm thinking about it, just because of how corny it is, it makes sense. It tracks.
So corny and no heart, which is wild because like the people at GameInformer are like some of the most passionate people like out there. Like there's some like seriously awesome people there. And it's like, this doesn't sound like it was written by someone who's sad about GameStop or GameInformer shutting down. It sounds like... Wasn't
GameInformer great?
Yeah.
Gamers?
Like, no, this isn't someone mourning. This is someone like, well... Shucks, we're shutting down.
That's
all
it.
Right. Gamer's gonna game. See ya at GameStop later today. I'm surprised
How are you guys
didn't
gonna
say that. I'm surprised it didn't have like a shameless ad for GameStop. Be like, well, see ya at GameStop later to pre-order the new copy of whatever.
How are you gonna find out about upcoming games? We don't know. We don't have a magazine anymore.
You'll never know. Well, it's bad enough to lose your job. What the past and present writers found shortly after is that GameInformer is not just closed, but the entire website has been wiped from the internet. Not just the homepage, but every single historical link to any GameInformer story in decades. GameInformer was around for 33 years worth of articles. Gone. They all redirect to the AI goodbye message. As a writer, it's hard to understand how devastating this is, as it's one thing to lose your job, but to be unable to point to your past work as you try to move on elsewhere is horrible. Not to mention just the loss of thousands and thousands of great features over the years from a hugely important industry outlet. The only reason this makes sense is that GameStop is trying to cut hosting costs for the URL? ? Like, why else would they do this? It doesn't make any sense. It's a move that's being described by many as evil, which I would agree. At Jump Over the Age on Twitter says, killing GameInformer is one kind of cultural vandalism, but turning the entire site and its archive into a landing page is genuinely evil. This affects not just the recently laid off employees, where the site and magazine had already been cut to the bone from layoffs before this, but now anyone who has ever written for GameInformer has seen those articles lost. There's likely no recourse for this through GameStop, as they technically own that content and are unlikely to simply turn the lights back on out of the goodness of their hearts. Zach Wajnar, I'm probably butchering that. Sorry, Zach. I tweeted out, I'd love to share the first interview I ever published with Grant Kirkhope, but I can't. It's gone, along with everything else on GameInformer's website. This pivotal piece of my history was a grain of sand on the beach that's been completely washed away. And he has a little screenshot of a Google search. So if you can Google search for articles, and they will pop up. And it even says, from GoldenEye to ukulele, Grant Kirkhope reflects on his career.
That's not the point, though.
It has the headline and everything, but as soon as you click on it, it redirects to that farewell message. So there's a movement underway to preserve what can be saved through internet archives and such, though it would be a massive project that would take ages to complete given the volume of what we're talking about here. GameStop has still not issued a statement on GameInformer's closure directly, again, only publishing a goodbye message with no rationale. I was able to easily recreate passages of this message in ChatGPT with a few uses of the prompt, write a sad goodbye message about the closure of video game magazine GameInformer after 33 years. That's crazy. Funny. So they literally recreated the message in ChatGPT with just a couple prompts. And he even has the prompts here, like what he used to get there. If you keep telling it to modify, it changes the words around, but all the structure's the same. Gross. Running it through multiple AI detection sites, they also conclude it's AI generated. The closure of GameInformer is bad enough, but destroying 30 plus years of gaming history with the press of a single button is unconscionable. And redirecting to an apparently AI generated statement is a metaphor for the state of the entire industry. I hope someone is held accountable for this, but at this point, I just don't see how. I've reached out to GameStop and will update if I hear back. This was written on the 3rd, and there's no update. So obviously GameStop doesn't give a crap.
To be honest,
this like hurts. Like I'm feeling like there's almost like a tightness in my chest. Like it's like, oh man, I could not, like, it's hard to even fathom. 33 years of video game history,
gone.
Interviews, exclusives, previews, reviews, all this stuff, literally just gone. Like that'd just be like burning a bunch of history books.
Essentially, it is for us.
For like video cameras. Like, all right, let's just anything that happened in the past 33 years, we're just going to erase from history books, and it's just going to pick up in 2024. Like, what? Okay.
We were talking about
the last 33 years. Like us millennials have gone through a lot in 33 years, you know? Like if he was not talking about 9/11 and the wars and COVID and all, like what?
We were talking about it a little bit before the show, and I was saying that what's really crazy about that is when you think about, like you were just saying, how much has happened, right? Like there's likely interviews with people who were in the industry or like who, you know, have worked on incredible, you know, landmark games who maybe have passed on. Yeah. And that was, you know, one of the big things of, you know, us remembering them was, you know, the interview or, you know, the exclusive piece that, you know, they were able to contribute to GameInformer. And now we have no way of getting that anymore. Now, and that's really upsetting. Like you said, because it's essentially erasing history, right? I feel like GameStop could have really avoided a firestorm. Like people would have been upset, right? But if there was somebody with a head on their shoulders that were like, look, we're going to end up shutting down GameInformer, right? But we're going to archive all our assets and give them to like the Video Game History Foundation. Yes. Or, you know, some kind of unanimously known resource that people can access, right? And then the foundation could have just uploaded them to an archive online. You know, It probably would have been a few terabytes or something like that with all the scans that they would have to do and articles and whatnot. But who cares? We still have it, you know? But they couldn't even be bothered to do that. And that's how you know that whoever is in charge over there doesn't really care about games.
Yeah.
They just care about it as a business that to make money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's like shutting down Time Magazine, and then now we don't have anything.
Yeah,
we don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, Time Magazine or like National Geographic, those staples, and just being like, yeah, we'll just delete everything that's ever been published, any photos, any articles, any interviews, everything.
It's all gone.
Bye. It's gone. Obviously, if there's print copies laying around, you can get it that way. But I think they stopped doing print.
I want to say 2015.
Well,
16?
they started doing digital in 2015, but I still offered print. I think the print thing was stopped. I
think you had to sign up for the print.
Yeah, it was a little bit extra money. Like it was like a couple extra but they still had it. So technically, like you could go back and rebuy all print stuff, but I think even print, like they went all digital in like the last year or two. So it's like, all right, so there's at least recent stuff that's just gone 100%, unless someone downloaded a PDF version off the site, I guess, which I don't think they even allowed you to do that. You had to view it through their viewer. and then, yeah, like if someone's going to go through hundreds, thousands of copies of GameInformer and scan them and upload them, that's even if they're in good enough shape to do, you know?
Right.
And even then, there's exclusive stuff that was just on their website that wasn't in print. That's another thing. So obviously a lot of the big things did end up in print. So if someone could if there could at least be copies and scans of these print copies, that would be awesome. But man, what a sad moment. When I saw that, it was just like, I don't know. I had so many
I didn't even want to
memories.
talk about it.
Growing up, like I had GamePro and GameInformer, and I always preferred GameInformer. Like, GameInformer was so good. I loved it. And
I had GameInformer and I had EGM.
Okay. Yeah. I just growing up with those, and just each and every month seeing the new cover. The covers were always amazing.
They had the best covers out of everybody by far.
So freaking good. Like they're on another level with their covers and the features or interviews. I always love looking at the question, like reader questions, people writing in and stuff. They just had such a fun, like silly feel to them too. Like they had fun with it. It wasn't just like very serious. It was like, oh, they're having fun here. So yeah. They had what was that? I don't know if they still did it, but growing up they had Game and Farcer. Was that what it's called? Where it was like the joke?
The rumors.
No, it was like a full, like it was like a fake like joke, or like around April. It was like a joke magazine within the magazine. It was just like 2 or 3 pages, and they just had like made up articles and made up announcements and stuff that they called GameInformer. It was like around April. They would do it for April Fools, and it was like
that's right. They had like the rumor, like rumor is blank blank blank. Yeah,
it was like, but it was always like wild, completely made up stuff. Like it was just like, oh, like they're painting the White House blue now in prep, for a big ad campaign
for Sonic,
Sonic or something stupid like that. It was great. Man, sad, so sad.
Yeah.
And for the people who lost their jobs too.
Of course, that's a whole nother dimension to it.
Great point too. Like, if they didn't have their portfolio backed up somewhere, those articles they wrote are just gone. Like.
Nuts.
That's insane. So literally, all right, I got to go find a job. You go apply to a job. All right, let me see your work. Sorry, you can't, because they deleted it off the internet.
And I worked at GameInformer for 10 years. So like my last 10 years of work are all gone now. Basically, I have no proof that I'm an actual games writer. That's nuts.
Like on paper, that person hasn't worked for 10 years. You know? Like they worked at a place and didn't put out any product. It's like, well, no, I put out hundreds and hundreds of articles and they're just gone. So, I mean, obviously, hopefully a lot of those people had stuff backed up, but still, if they didn't, or I don't know, that's just so sad. Or for the video interview, like just gone. Wild. Makes me sad. I hope everyone can find some new jobs, can land on their feet. And I don't know. Man. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I hope one of two things happen. Either
they get hacked.
Either there's something happens and all those articles and like backups of the magazines and stuff, they're recovered, or maybe they have a change of heart or whatever. Somehow I hope either that happens, or that the community
they get hacked and somebody takes them.
Yeah. Or I was gonna say, or the community gets together and like the behind MinMax's project and some of the others who are doing like a big archive project, and that can be done sooner than later. And that it can be accessible, because man, what a cool
MinMax, get the no clip team on it.
Oh man, yeah. Like MinMax is heading it up, but yeah, get like no clip behind them and a few other people, and like make a whole documentary out of it. Like get some more eyes on it, get more people involved, even outside the gaming community. Holy cow! Like people can come together and like knock that out like nothing. So I don't know. I hope stuff like that gets more traction, because I have a feeling GameInformer's not going to do, or GameStop's not going to do anything. Unfortunately,
no. GameStop makes it easier and easier to not shop at GameStop.
Right? I've already like been on the boycott for years.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is an easy choice. This is a very, very easy choice. Wild. Well, I'm done with that. So let's talk about another sad news story.
Yeah, from one to the other. Let's go.
I was gonna say I'm done being sad, but then I saw the next news story. This news story.
I'm more upset about this one than sad about this one.
Yeah, that's true. This next news story comes to us from GameSpot, written by Timur Hussein. Bungie layoffs include senior execs Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, 2 senior executives of Bungie's, were both part of the recent round of layoffs, according to a new report. Speaking on his Game Mess Decides podcast, Jeff Grubb confirmed that the duo were working on Payback, a new game set in the Destiny universe, but were let go as part of sweeping job losses at the now PlayStation-owned studio. Smith and Noseworthy were labeled as working on Payback. It was going to be the next big thing for Destiny, but not Destiny 3, Grubb said. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer at Bungie. They were let go. They were caught in the executive and leadership shakeup mentioned in the blog post. Payback has been shelved. There's been an update to this article. Sources have clarified that Smith and Noseworthy's departure came as the Payback project was shut down, after which executives' restructuring meant they had no path forward at Bungie. That doesn't make it better, but the reason they're let go is because it's not that they were let go and then the project was shelved, is that the project was shelved and so they were let go. So not any better, but just a clearer order of events, basically. Smith was executive director at Bungie and became notable public-facing representative for the studio, having guided Destiny 2's narrative back to a place that excited fans and more clearly set up a long-term story for the sci-fi shooter. And Noseworthy, meanwhile, was vice president of the Destiny universe and responsible for the overall strategy of Destiny as an intellectual property and a business. GameStop has contacted Bungie for a statement. Sounds like they haven't gotten anything back. But on July 31st, Bungie executive Pete Parsons confirmed that the company is cutting around 220 people from several departments. This number represents 17% of its workforce. A further 150 people are reportedly being moved around Sony Interactive Entertainment. Interesting. So 220 people are cut, but then 150 people, they're leaving Bungie, but they're not losing their jobs. They're just going to other studios. So
right, and I can see why.
So what's going on?
Because they're probably next on the chopping block.
Yeah, that's wild though. Like Bungie's just like going down to a skeleton crew. Due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon, Parsons said. He also indicated that layoffs at every level of Bungie and that most of Bungie's executive or senior leader positions are impacted. As part of the layoff announcement, it was also confirmed that Bungie is working on a brand new game, but it's not Destiny 3 or Payback. Instead, this new sci-fi project will be developed at the new internal studio being set up within PlayStation.
What?
So not at Bungie.
No, wait,
so why is it say it says Bungie is working on a project, but it's at a new internal studio?
Well, not only that, but you just said that they're paring down to focus on Destiny development, but then the new game that they're working on is not Destiny. So what is it?
Yeah,
which one is it? Somebody's
not.
That's contradictory.
Yes. Word salad.
Are we working on Destiny or are we not working on Destiny? And I understand you have to pare down because Destiny 2 is almost done, but from what I understand, after Destiny 2 is over, that was it. They are off the Destiny boat.
Right.
So
yeah.
Why would you say there's nothing left? Isn't this the final expansion for Destiny that just came out?
I think so. The layoffs follow the release of Destiny 2's The Final Shape expansion, which was very positively received by fans. Although Destiny 2 remains one of the most popular games as a service titles on the market, the significant job loss at Bungie have called into question what content players can expect going forward. According to Grub, the larger expansions that Bungie has traditionally released are unlikely to return, and players will instead be given smaller content packs. Bungie is also working on a new Marathon, which is coming back as an extraction shooter. So that's it. They're basically slowly sunsetting Destiny 2 without outright saying it, and then working on Marathon, which is just going to be a multiplayer extraction shooter game. And apparently a new IP, but it's not clear whether they're working on it or this new internal studio is, because it says they are, but then literally in the same sentence, it says it's being developed at a new internal studio within PlayStation. So maybe not. It sounds like Bungie's getting shut down. Basically, Bungie got bought by Xbox. They hated it. They left. They're like, we can't survive. They got bought by PlayStation. And now they might just get shut down.
No. They got bought by Activision. They hated it. They left.
That's true. They got.
Now they got bought by PlayStation, which word on the street is they actually scammed PlayStation. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
So word on the street, from what I understand, allegedly, because we're already fighting one McDonald's themed lawsuit right now. Allegedly, Bungie, when they initially offered, or when they were talking to PlayStation about this partnership deal thing, they overvalued themselves by a good margin, and Sony took that offer that they proposed.
Okay. Wow.
So based on like their assets and what they had going on at the time, they were definitely, and it's almost like it was known that they were overvaluing themselves, over-evaluating, and Sony didn't know that, and Sony took the high deal. So dang. I say all that to say, you got all this extra cash out of this deal, and you still couldn't keep all the people around. That's straight up, if it's true, straight up greed.
Yeah, which is sad.
Either that or they were hurting more financially than they were letting on.
Yeah.
And had bills to pay off.
Man, which is sad because Bungie is like been so beloved for so long. And so for it to kind of come to this and for some of the shady stuff coming out, like now hearing that, it's like, oh shoot, like
yeah. It's also not the same Bungie though. Like it hasn't been the same Bungie for what, 10 plus years?
That's
when
true.
we think of Bungie, we think of a different Bungie than it is today.
That's true.
So,
yeah. Again, hope all those people can get back on their feet, whether it's in the game industry or somewhere else. But man, what a wild year. I mean, layoffs have been happening consistently for the last couple of years, but the number, like, if you look at the actual like number of people that have been laid off in 2024, it's absolutely bonkers crazy, like off the charts. I gotta find something real quick.
What?
Kojima posted a video in our Discord, and it was called Private Equity is Coming for Gaming. I don't know. Did you have a chance to watch that? He put it in there.
I saw that he posted it, but I didn't get a chance to watch it in long form. Can you give me a TLDR?
Very, very good video. It's by a YouTube channel called More Perfect Union. So they're obviously very pro-union. So there's bias, but I don't think they're wrong either, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Basically, this person kind of dives into and investigates. He goes through like looking at the recent games that have been canceled, looking at like game sales over the last few years, how things have been changing, going up and down and whatnot. He jumps into this story about Embracer Group and everything that's been happening with them, where they paid a bunch of money for stuff and then they got some backers and then backers backed out. They got screwed over. They had to do a bunch of layoffs. He kind of goes into a lot of the reasons why layoffs are happening. And it ultimately comes down to just, again, like the bottom line and profits being most important. And not about the art and craft of video games anymore, and making entertaining products, pieces of entertainment or pieces of art to appreciate. It's just purely money. So
right.
Highly recommend watching the video. It's in our Discord. The link's in our Discord. If you're curious, it's called Private Equity is Coming for Gaming. And yeah, he interviews people who got let go from Embracer Group and from like Microsoft Activision with stuff with the merger and different people. And ultimately, like, it kind of comes down to the baseline of the video is unions, like unions is what's going to help in the situation. I think it's a good step and that will help in a lot of situations. But when I responded to Kojima, I guess I can just read it. I said, that was an incredibly insightful video. Thanks for sharing. I think my thoughts are in line with this video, mostly, honestly. Either studios need to start unionizing or games need to be less about profits and more about art. Unfortunately, I think it's too late for the big game developers to not make more money. So that leaves unions. Unions aren't perfect either, but at this point, I feel like it's all we got. I also wonder if there could be a video game revolution at some point where indie studios start getting more of the market share and making more money. At that point, it's up to the heads of those studios to not make the same mistakes as the big studios. Growth is fine, but not at the expense of the quality of the art. It's happening. It's already happening that people are turning to indie games over AAA titles and more and more. I didn't finish my thought, but kind of like that's
rode the wave early, baby. Let's go.
I feel like that's where we're at. Like, the big companies are so big, I don't think they can go back, right?
At this point, no, because they have to make games at this scale because now their baseline is whatever these games make.
Yeah, so
you can't go back down because you're going to have to let people go and downsize, and that's not going to happen.
So there's always going to be more and more layoffs, and there's going to be more and more microtransactions and more all this extra crap. And so, yeah, like, my hope is either like, all right, get those studios unionizing, or like, man, imagine the day where people actually start putting their money where their mouth is and just, all right, let's start supporting indie games so indie game developers can get bigger and grow and make money. And it's okay to have a giant studio and still keep your priorities straight, though. Like, that is possible to do. That is possible to do. And I would hope would happen with these indie studios because of how, like, where they came from, you would hope there would kind of be some sort of, granted, at one point EA was an indie studio, and all these so kind of sort of like a lot of these studios started out small, but yeah, I don't know. There almost needs to be a refresh, in my opinion. Like, these big studios need to move on, and the little studios need to be the new big guys with some fresh heads of, the CEOs and fresh outlooks on, oh, all right, we're here to actually make art and to make entertainment and not just make money. Money is good, but we're not at the expense of the art and the entertainment.
Bingo.
So, go check out the video. It's very good. I appreciate Kajoma sharing it with us. And I don't know. That's what kind of hearing more and more about these layoffs happening. It's like, all right, something major needs to change in the games industry because it's such a volatile space right now. I know everywhere is kind of having issues, but boy, like games industry, it's to the point where people are getting laid off and they're swearing off. They're like, nope, I'm not going back in. I'm going to any other industry at this point because video games, like there was one guy actually in that video, they interviewed him. He's like, I got laid off. And then the studio I moved to got acquired. And within like 6 months, I was laid off again. So he got laid off twice in the same year. I'm like, that.
I would have been done. I would have been like, you know what? Making games is my dream, but I also need to, I need to reliably eat. Yes. And I can't do it here, unfortunately. Yep. You know, I had to be realistic.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So
I also want to say, and I think I've done it before. I want to give a shout out to the rightful leader, or the rightful should have been leader of PlayStation, Mr. Sean Layden, who they passed over for Jim Lee and not Jim Lee. Ooh, that's DC. Jim Ryan, who they passed over for Jim Ryan, and are now feeling the effects of that. He was saying way back in the PS4, PS3 days that these games are getting too big, and that going at this rate, if we keep making games this big, it's going to be unsustainable. He said that over a decade ago. And now here we are, and he was 100% correct. 100%. He didn't mean don't make any tentpole games. He meant making every game a tentpole game is not sustainable. And we are clearly seeing the effects of that now. So my PlayStation president was right.
Yeah. No, 100%. And even so, my thought is like, okay, like how do big companies get to a point where they can get back to that kind of grassroots like approach to making games again? It's like, well, either
you have to slash yourself, you have to cut yourself back down. There's no other way.
Yeah, so either more layoffs have to happen, unfortunately, or what they could do is like what needs to happen is like, all right, instead of being one giant conglomerate like Microsoft is becoming, like let those studios be all individual independent studios. Like obviously that involves someone buying those from the company, but that's what I almost wish would happen too. Like, all right, you don't need a bajillion what do they call it? First party studios. Like have 1 or 2, 3 maybe, and then like let all these studios be their own thing and do their own thing and be small, you know, and they don't need to be part of this giant conglomerate of just a mess, because that's where a lot of these issues are coming from, is all these places are growing too quickly with all these acquisitions. It's like, no, let's get back to the good old days where you just had like couple first party studios and everything else is third party. Like, why not? So far, having all the first party studios hasn't done that much.
It hasn't helped Xbox.
Hasn't helped. Yeah, exactly.
At all. Well, not at all. I mean, it barely has even moved the needle, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, there's barely. Yeah, exactly.
Can you name an Xbox game this gen that everybody unanimously was like, oh my God, this thing is awesome. I understand why Xbox wanted to move forward with this acquisition plan, because I can't.
No, I can't.
Starfield was okay. Hellblade was okay. What other tempos were there this gen? Really, I'm talking about, like, if you went to a movie theater, let's liken it to that. And there's Xbox games up there, right? Like, those are the games that are going to be on the marquee. Your Hellblades, your Halo Infinite.
Oof, yeah,
was okay.
Exactly.
It was, at best, it was okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, these games that would be on the marquee, they're not shifting the industry. They're not. There hasn't been one that was unanimously like, okay, we all get it. This rules. except Hi-Fi Rush, but that wasn't even like a tentpole game, but everybody liked it. And again, that's a perfect example because it's a smaller game.
Shut down. It was a smaller game from a smaller studio within Xbox,
and they didn't want
it. They don't want it. I just don't understand what is happening. Yeah, no, there's not been. I mean, there's Forza games, but they come out all the time. Like, yeah, they're fun, they're good, but they're not groundbreaking.
They're not. I play them all the time.
Psychonauts 2.
I play them every day. Oh yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll give you one.
That's about it. That's about it. Yeah.
In 4, almost coming up on 5 years of a generation.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. I heard Pentiment was pretty good, but I didn't get to play it.
Again, but that's not a marquee. That's like a smaller.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a small, like little spin-off
where they got to take a chance and be creative. Same deal with Hi-Fi Rush.
Isn't it do more of that? Please, just do more of that. Xbox, PlayStation. So sad. All right. So let's move on to this last news story. We're actually going to be talking about Xbox here. This article is from PC Gamer, my favorite. When I'm looking for a good article that kind of takes a good jab at people and just isn't afraid to be real snarky, this is who I go to. I haven't actually fully read the article, but I can only imagine what they're about to say based off this headline. Written by Ted Litchfield, PC Gamer. Avowed delayed to February to, quote, give players' backlog some breathing room.
Shut up, bro. Why are you lying? Like, go ahead. Sorry.
So the article literally begins with Xbox's tweet, which is interesting. Like, you don't see that often where there's a little setup and then it shows a tweet. It just kicks
this
right
doesn't
off.
Need an introduction. This is an all-timer Hall of Fame tweet right here.
It kicks off with an Xbox tweet. It says, at Xbox, so many games coming. As such, we're moving Avowed to February 18th, 2025 to give players backlog some breathing room. Stay tuned for more from our games across Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and Xbox Game Studios at Gamescom, including our August 23rd live stream for a look at Avowed. Blah, blah, blah. Oop, I clicked on the tweet. And then there's like a timeline, like an image they made with a timeline. So here we go. Let's get into the article. Let's hear what PC Gamer, Mr. Ted Litchfield had to say about this. According to The Verge's Notepad newsletter, users may encounter a paywall. On Microsoft's Happening, Obsidian's first-person action RPG Avowed is about to get delayed into early 2025. The game itself is supposedly in good shape to meet its original November release window, but Microsoft is sheepish about overcrowding its holiday release schedule. The Verge cites Stalker 2's delay into November as a potential motivating factor for the Avowed delay. Despite GSC Game World not being owned by Microsoft, Stalker 2 will be an Xbox and PC exclusive coming to Game Pass Day 1, at least for premium subscribers. Also coming this fall from Microsoft is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Diablo 4's 4's first expansion, Vessel of Hatred. The move makes more sense when you consider how much Microsoft has bet the farm on Game Pass, with the publisher removing pressure from an already crowded fall and instead giving subscribers something to look forward to in the doldrums of January and February. Also worth considering is the planned November release of Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which got its big reveal as part of Microsoft's summer showcase. While the dynamics at play are very different from last year's Starfield vs. Baldur's Gate 3 matchup, avoiding another such stark RPG head-to-head may have also been on decision makers' minds. Avowed has been cooking for a long time, with an initial pre-rendered announcement trailer in 2020. The first-person spin-off to Pillars of Eternity looks like it could be something special, with its vibrant fantasy environment expertly evoking the Pillars game's pre-rendered worlds. It has, however, recently revealed that Obsidian went back to the drawing board on Avowed's combat, making it more juicy in response to criticisms of its initial reveal. That's it for the article. Surprisingly, not as snarky as I was hoping, but you know what? I just love this headline. Because what a wild reason to delay your game. To give players' backlog some breathing room.
Bro, dude,
that's fine, I guess, but what a wild,
do you think, okay, wait, before we start.
Sorry, I just want to say, I also don't feel like it's truthful.
Well, right? It's not only that, I'm like, do you think maybe.
There's got to be a better reason they're just lying to us, right? Like, that seems wild.
Was this a joke that didn't play out right? You know what I mean? Because that might explain it. Like, they were trying to be funny, like, oh, it's delayed, but at least you got a little more time for your backlog. but they just worded it weird, so it came off as like an excuse.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm trying to find like the absolute littlest benefit of the doubt to give them. And that's honestly what makes the most sense is whoever was running the account, they thought this was going to be funny. Oh, we delayed it, but you know what I mean? You have more time for your backlog. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because why would you say something like this?
I guess so. I mean, and looking at this graphic, they do have a lot. So August 26th, World of Warcraft expansion coming out. September 4th, Age of Mythology Retold. September 24th, Ara History Untold. October 8th, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred. October 25th, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. November 19th, Flight Simulator 2024. And then there's a bunch of TBA games in 2024. So they're coming out this year. They just haven't been announced when. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the Starfield DLC, Starfield Shattered Space, and then another game called Towerborn. I've never even heard of that, but apparently it's coming out this year. From Xbox. So it's like, all right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games coming out within like 3 months. But here's the deal. One, like, they are all vastly different genres of games. Like, honestly, out of all these, the only one I'm going to play is maybe Indiana Jones. Like the rest of them.
That's fair.
Like, I'm not playing World of Warcraft. I'm not playing Age of Mythology. I'm not playing Ara.
No.
I'm not playing... I would love to play Diablo 4, but probably not because it's too much time I have to invest in it. I'm not playing Call of Duty.
I hear it's good, though.
I'm not... Oh, I've heard it's fantastic. And the trailer for the new DLC looks incredible. Like, when I saw the trailer during...
Is that the one with the girl in the boat? That was really good.
That was wild. Yeah, Flight Simulator, it's like, all right, I'm not going to try that. Starfield, I'm not going to try that. Towerborn, I don't even know what it is. So out of all these, there's only one game I'm going to play. So in my mind, it's like, give me room for my backlog. I'm only going to have one game. And at this point, it's TBA. For all we know, Indiana Jones is going to get delayed too because they're running
Indiana
behind.
Jones is not coming out this year. I find it hard. I would be surprised if it came out this year. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But if they're delaying Avowed already, I don't know. Maybe they're fine delaying Avowed because they know Indiana Jones is coming out this year. But if that's the case, you should have a date already. It's already August.
Give us a date. Yeah.
People got to start saving up.
It's late. So that's my deal. Like, I get it. Like, yes, you can make a graphic to make it look like there's a lot happening, but in reality, only 1 or 2 of those games might apply to most people, you know? And it's going to be different 1 or 2 games, but for me, and it's specifically just like Indiana Jones. All right. Okay, now what? So
2025.
This is a weird excuse, a weird tweet, a weird little graphic they made to try to justify it. That, and to be honest, they're not wrong. I have a lot of backlog games I need to complete. Not Xbox games. Let's be clear. None of them are Xbox games except for maybe like Hellblade 2. But otherwise, they are not wrong. So I'm not angry about this. I was more, like I said at the top of the show, it is just so silly. Like, it's such a goofy like excuse to give. Like, really? Just tell us the truth. Like, you just want to make more money, so you want to spread it out a little bit, right? Like, I don't know. Just say it's being delayed. You don't even have to give us a reason. Just be like, hey, it's coming out in February now. Whatever. Move on.
That's fine. And that's it. Just don't try to be funny with this. This isn't something to be funny about.
Or actually be funny. If you want to be funny, just actually be funny.
Or
like,
yeah.
Like, it's more funny because of how like weird it is, not funny because it's actually funny. It's like, oh, okay, this is weird. Yeah, so there you go. Avowed, gotta wait till February now to play it because apparently people at Xbox have too many games to play this fall.
That's fine. I have too many games to play, period. So honestly, you can pretty much delay any game ever for like years and I would still, okay,
That's true.
I got tons of things to play still, so go ahead.
Absolutely true. All right. Well, with that, we are done with the news. And that means it is now time for our Patreon ad.
Roll them.
Alrighty. This is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 each and every month gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as exclusive Patreon access to we have Patreon exclusive shows such as Super Later Boys, early season Super Gamer Book Club. Check that all out over there. And like I said, early episodes of Super Gamer Boys and our other shows when they're live there. So if you happen to be not be able to catch us on Monday nights when we stream live, as soon as we get done with the show, I edit this sucker, get it out there to you folks so you can watch and listen to the episode 2 days before everyone else. So think about supporting us over there just for $1. That's all you got. That's great. You can still get some cool stuff. Next, we got the $5 tier where you can support us and get those perks I mentioned previously, as well as the show notes. So you'll know exactly what we're going to be talking about, see the news stories, see the listener questions, see what we've been playing. Leave comments, questions, concerns, anywhere you want on that doc, and we will read them live here on the show. So if you have thoughts about the news stories, if you want to share a memory about reading GameInformer, if you want to give your thoughts on Avowed being delayed, or add a mailbag question, maybe you want to let us know what game you've been playing, whatever it might be, you can leave it all there on the doc. That's at the $5 level. So you get the previous perks and you get the show notes. $10 a month, you can be a Super Gamer sponsor, where you can get a shout out at the top of each and every episode, as well as the previous perks I mentioned. So you get the early episodes, you get the exclusive episodes, you get the show notes, and you get a big old shout out. So think about supporting us over there. And last but not least, we have a Patreon producer tier where you can support us at $15 a month, get all the previous perks, and the ability to pitch a segment for the show. If you think you got a good, juicy segment, something fun for us to do, something that'd be fun to watch us do, listen to us do, talk about, whatever it might be, something that you think could be a good recurring bit, make the show more entertaining, and you want your name slapped on it, immortalized in Super Gamer Boy history, think about supporting us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys at that $15 a month level. Patreon producer, you get all the previous perks and that ability to pitch a segment. All segments are subject to checks and making sure there's nothing fishy going on, nothing weird, nothing we got to worry about here on the show. So maybe run it past us ahead of time, or at least give us the gist of it if you don't want to fully reveal it. But it's been a good time. It's always fun. Whether it's Super Indie Boys, we had Super Indie Boys, we had Tall Tales with JJ, we had Losing Reviews, we had a D&D segment for a while with Matt Liu, we also had Kajoma's Card Game Corners, a more recent one. So think about checking it out. You would love to help support the show, which helps us buy the equipment we need, buy the games we need, host the podcast, host our website, keep things just up and running, literally the lights, keep the mics hot. Then support us over there. Every little bit helps. That helps us to make more and more cool stuff for you folks. You can also support us over at sgbstore.com. If you haven't heard, we put out some sweet summer merch, and we would love it if you went and bought some. sgbstore.com. You can get some awesome t-shirts. You can get some swim shorts, which I wore a lot this weekend, and let me tell you, they are super comfy and look super sick. I got them in blue. They got also come in the hot pink color. We got hats, we got cups, we got everything in the summer collection. So make sure to go to sgbstore.com, check out that summer collection, and also our classic collection. So if you are thinking about like, oh, I just want some of your old stuff, well, we still got that up too. We got some hoodies, sweatshirts, coffee, our famous mug. We got it all over there. Last but not least, if you are watching over at twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys, you can support us by subscribing to the channel. Typically, a sub is, I think it's $6 now through Twitch, but get this, if you have Amazon Prime, you might get a free Prime gaming subscription. That's right. If you can link your Amazon and Prime account to your Twitch account, you'll get one free sub each and every month. Cost you $0. We still get the same amount as if you sub normally. So you're still helping out the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. And you get ad-free viewing and access to our email. So if you want to help the channel that way, Everyone has Amazon Prime. And even if you don't, I'm sure you know someone who does. A family member, a friend, someone. They're probably not using it on Twitch. So ask them. Be like, hey, can I borrow your Amazon account? Log into my Twitch account. It doesn't give you access to their Amazon account. Basically, it just gives you the ability to use a free sub on our channel, get ad-free viewing, help us out, get access to our emotes. And on top of that, you also get, I think Amazon Prime gives away the free games on Twitch as well. So heck, you're supporting our channel and getting free stuff along the way. So think about supporting us. Twitch.tv/SuperGamerBoys with that free Prime gaming sub. All right, and with that, let's get back to the show. Angel in the chat says Super Gamer Chair. I think that was in reference to Adrian being missing during the ad segment.
I always make it back in time.
I know. You have some good timing.
I make sure of it.
I'm always surprised. You come in just as, a lot of times, just as I'm wrapping up. I'm like, dang, you're good.
You know, I got that sixth sense.
You're like, Garrett is almost done BSing right now. I should get back. Adrian, it's time to ask you the age-old question. Whatcha playing?
What have I been playing this past week? Let me see if I can recount. Not a whole lot, if you can believe it. I don't know. I feel like I've been pretty preoccupied this past week or so. I've been trying to get in a little bit of, actually, no, I take that back. I have been playing some more Dragon Quest on my Pocket.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, there's the first two Dragon Quests got a remake / port on the Game Boy Color, and so I've been playing the cartridge on my analog Pocket, just kind of popping in here and there. And man, that game is so gorgeous, and it's just like it's the perfect old school RPG where you shut up and grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not grinding, you're not going anywhere in that game. No. So it's perfect. I mean, it's the perfect game to kind of like just sit down and sink your teeth into. But I've also been trying to figure out, and this is off topic on topic. I have been trying to find a game to get lost in. That I haven't played a whole lot of. I just feel like I need something to preoccupy my brain for a little bit, or just like something to focus on.
Have you played, I have just a game for you. There's this hit game that came out a couple years ago now called Death Stranding Director's Cut on PS5.
Believe it or not, earlier today, I set it to download on the PS5. So it's ready to go.
There you go.
I'm just saying. And I was just thinking that I'm like, I could really use a game to just like completely immerse and lose myself in. And I feel like that's just the number one choice on the board right now.
And you get the extra bonus content. You get the
just walk from one side of the country to the other, and just take 3 hours to do it every night. I don't know.
Well, in the director's cut, they've added car racing now. And like in a Metal Gear inspired side mission. So Angel said League of Legends is that game. Angel, I don't hate myself enough to start playing League of Legends. I look, okay, I know I'm not like I know my relationship with myself, and I'm not necessarily the most fondest of myself, right? At times. But I don't hate myself enough to start up a league career, okay? From you and or Selkies in the chat talking about if you're looking for a quick lobotomy, League is the one. I know, I love Selkies' response. That's so true.
Right. Now and I'm trying to do it, but not fall back into my comfort behavior game. You know what I mean? Which is honestly, I could just fire up, Power Wash Simulator and just go to town. Cause there's a lot of DLC that I haven't played. I still haven't played the SpongeBob DLC. I haven't finished the Tomb Raider DLC, and I think they're getting ready to come out with a couple of more that I could just, sit there and just let it happen to me, right? But I want to be able to
after I finish Neurodiver, I might fire a Power Wash Simulator. That's a good one.
Let me know if you do, dude. I'm down to do multiplayer.
Because I need to finish the main game. I started it and just never finished it, and that's one of those. It's on my list. I need to finish. So
that game came in so clutch when I was just like desolate and like, man, I don't know. My brain was just not working right, and that is a game that whenever it re-releases, I will buy it, just because of it carried your boy through. All right. Yeah. So I owe it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So maybe Death Stranding is next on my list to actually just, I might come back next Monday with a Bridges hat on. Oh, you never know. I might come back and I might be Sam Bridges. I might, you know what I mean? Just I might raise up my sleeve and you'll see like a handprint on it or something from a BT. I don't know. Dude, you never know.
I saw on Reddit this weekend, someone posted on the Death Stranding subreddit, they got a tattoo.
Are you finally going to get one?
I want to. Obviously, I don't have money right now. I'm unemployed. I don't have money to go be getting a tattoo. But this dude, when I saw it, I'm like, I need this. It was, it looked like he had like a clean like BT hand. So basically, like his arm almost looked dirty. Like that was a lot of the comments where I was like, this looks like your arm's dirty, which is but it was cool. It was like a negative effect. So I'm just having like a black hand on there. It was like his shoulder was all like tinted, and then like where the hand was just. There was clean. No tattoo, like it was clean, and it was like, oh, that's so sick. Like you could see like almost like hand scars, like what Sam has in the game on his arm. I'm like, that's one of those tattoos where like to other people I'd be like, well, that's kind of weird, but to like people who know, it's like that is.
Don't
so
worry
sick.
about it. It's cool to me. So that's cool. What matters.
Exactly. I was like, man, that would be super awesome to have something like that.
I feel like you've either got a Death Stranding or a Metal Gear tattoo in you. I don't know which one's gonna come first, and I wouldn't be mad whichever way you go.
If I win the lottery and I never have to work a day in my life again, I'm buying a tattoo first.
That's the first thing you get is a tattoo.
Go right to the tattoo shop. Selkie, oh no, Selkie says just tattoo Solid Snake on your ween.
No, just the word solid. Just the word solid on it, because then it'll be a solid snake.
Oh no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chizo, I don't appreciate that. He says, don't let Garrett bully you into playing Death Stranding. Super bully boy.
No, I've played it before.
Yeah, I knows it's a good game.
I know it's a great game. I just haven't played the director's cut. And that's why I'm like, I really need something to just, and that right there, Chizo, is actually courtesy of me. Okay. Yes, so that's how you know I like me some Death Stranding. All right.
Adrian's BB that he gifted me.
So,
like I even got the little dream catcher. Got my little ludens. I'm ready to go, dude. I'm ready to go. You and me. When are they adding multiplayer to Death Stranding? That's what I want to know.
Probably in 2. I wouldn't be surprised.
Imagine delivering packages together, and you could just use like the in-game chat to actually just like talk, just like shooting a crap while delivering packages together.
Hey, is anybody out there?
That'd be so cool. I mean, honestly, that would be cool, because like, especially if it's like with randos, like you just jump in, you don't know who you're gonna run into, and like maybe your paths like line up for a while, and you're just chit chatting, and like
Journey.
Well, I'm gonna head left, like I gotta head this way, like see you later, maybe. And just like peace out.
And then they load out of the game after you get so far from them.
That would be so cool. Yeah, like a Journey type thing. That'd be sick.
Adrian, have you played? I have not played.
I hate the chat right now. What's up with this?
What?
They're just hating on Death Stranding. Selkie says 10 times.
Look, man, it's not our fault. You don't know how to zen out and enjoy an experience. Okay, you know what I mean. You don't know how to just immerse yourself and be in a game. All right, that's okay.
Selkie says Cat Quest 3 comes. Yeah, Selkie says Cat Quest 3 comes in 3 days. That's a great choice. I didn't.
Yeah, but I'm a continuity guy. I feel like I'd have to play 1 and 2 to get the most out of 3, and just Cat Quest doesn't really seem like my bag. No problem if it is yours. I'm sure it's great, but I don't know. Something about it is just. I'm not gonna say I would never play it, but if it had a good word of mouth, I definitely would look into it more. I just don't hear a whole lot about it one way or the other.
Angel's wondering if you've played Death's Door.
I have played the beginning of Death's Door. I own Death's Door on 2 different platforms, and I should get into Death's Door. So that might be what I play alongside Death Stranding. To just I've heard now Death's Door is one that I have heard nothing but good things about.
Yeah. It's been only incredible things.
Right. See, he says keep playing and it's an amazing game. See? So that one I might have to go ahead and jump into. Now, here's my other giant shame that I was also talking about. and chat's getting ready to cook me. I don't care.
Oh, ruh-roh.
So one of my big recent gaming shames is I have not finished Red Dead 2. And by not finished Red Dead 2, I mean I have not played past like the first act of Red Dead 2. And it's not wait, chat, wait. It's right not because it's not a good game. I enjoyed what I played. Okay? I don't know why I never came back to it. That's literally, I don't know if something else came out at the time, but I feel like Red Dead is a game where you cannot play another game while you're playing that game, if that makes sense. Like, you need to devote all your gaming time to that experience because it is so vast and it's so like expansive and everything. Now
I will come out and say I have not played it because it's a bad game. That's me.
But. It's objectively not a bad game. There's no way it's a bad game. Let's not get crazy. I was
so bored. It was so slow.
Not get crazy.
I had to stop. I did like the first.
It's slow.
I did like two or three. I did like 2 or 3 chapters, and I was like, oh my gosh, nothing is happening.
But and you know what? And I like that though. I like a slow burn because I don't know what it is. It's just I feel like the when the story does start to move, it's like a reward for you sticking with it, right? Yeah. And it's also fun to kind of visualize and try to predict where it's going to go in the future, right? Because they're laying the groundwork so that whenever the story does go and it hits, right, it's going to hit much harder because now you have that longer relationship with the characters. So just saying.
Chiso in the chat. Imagine being bored with Red Dead, but absolutely losing your mind being the post-apocalypse Amazon worker.
He's got a point. Garrett.
I mean, I think it's a time and place thing. I don't know what headspace I was in when Red Dead 2 came out, but I was not having it because I've thought the same thing. Don't get me wrong. Like I am completely. I'm not like oblivious to the fact that it doesn't make that what I said doesn't make sense. Because those are the types of games I usually like. Things that are heavily story based and in good, solid, dramatic stories or whatever. Good drama, good action, incredible world, lots of good lore. I don't know what headspace I was in at the time, but let me tell you, I turned off of it very quickly. I did like a few chapters, or not even a few. I would just say I think I made it to 2 or 3, and I have been told. People said, "Oh, you literally like." Played the slow part, and then after that things open up more and pick up more, and I like stopped right before that happened. So it's on my list to eventually go back, but to speak specifically on my experience, at the time I did feel I'm like, this is a bad game, I don't like this. And JJ loved it. He beat it and replayed it multiple times, right? Like the dude one week on the episode couldn't even have enough time to play a single video game to talk about in the show. And then like over the next like 6 months, he played Red Dead 6 times. I'm like, dude, what happened? The one day you couldn't play video games, the next that's all you play.
Right. Which tells me that I need, especially because I like the first one so much. I really like the first one. So I don't know what took me out of this one. And it wasn't a negative thing because I didn't dislike it at all. I just think that there was maybe there was a life thing that happened, or like maybe another game came out.
I don't even remember.
Maybe I was working a lot, but I feel like that's what's scary to me is not scary, but like daunting is if I start that game up, I cannot play any other game because I feel like all my attention is going to go towards it outside of, working. When I'm not working, I'm playing Red Dead.
Yep.
And that's,
dangerous.
You know what I mean?
Dangerous. Time sink.
So,
oh, man. So
I got options. I just got to narrow it down to see to see. But I say all that to say, and to also pad out time because I don't have anything else that I was playing recently. But you may hear different from me next week. Yeah. And turning it over to you, Mr. Morlang. What have you been playing?
Nothing.
You've been playing the most important game, actually.
The game of life, baby. That's what I've been playing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. I had started Neurodivers, and I talked about it last week. Absolutely loved it. And literally every night this week, I picked up my Steam Deck to jump back in. And every night, so the Olympics have been going on. They've been a blast to watch. And Judy's been putting them on every night. And so I'll pick up I'll be like, oh yeah, well the Olympics are going. I'll just play the game. And what inevitably happens, either something incredibly exciting is happening on the Olympics. And so I'm like holding my Steam Deck while it's off and just watching the Olympics and not ever play. Or I just like zone out, just zonk out because I'm so tired, just out of it. And I don't play anything, and I'm not even really paying attention to the Olympics. I'm more just like in a state of stasis, just kind of like until I finally just go to bed. So yeah, I don't have anything to talk about, so I feel bad. So thank you for padding out time.
That's okay.
Now we've got plenty of time on the episode now, and
you're
I
welcome,
didn't even have
man.
to talk about anything. But yeah, boy, it's a busy week. But I do have intentions to. I'm going to do the same thing you did. I do have intentions to return to Neurodiver, Read Only Memories Neurodiver. Very good game, what I played so far. And there was one other game I was excited to maybe fire up. Oh, I take that back. I did play a game last week. After we recorded the show, I was dragged mercilessly against my will into playing a game, which I only regret a little bit. No, not really. I don't regret it. I was editing the podcast, and I was hit up by none other than the real Dan and Boba Fletch, Nate and Dan. And
I already know where you're going. You were doing some diving, weren't you?
No. In fact, they found the general trend with Nate is that games last about 2 weeks, and then there's a new one we gotta get. There's a new one to squat up around. Maybe 3 weeks if we're lucky. Helldivers lasted a good month, I think, but that was about it.
Okay.
So I got hit up last week after the show, like, you gotta play this game. We need more people. We're trying to get 4. And that game is called Chained Together. Have you heard of this game?
Oh, I've heard about I want to play it so bad, but it's only on PC. What are they waiting for, dude?
Okay, yeah. So Nate and Dan were already playing it, and I was like, dude, like, I don't have money for another game. And Nate's like, dude, it's only like $5. I'm like, I don't want to buy another game. He's like, I'll gift it to you. So he literally gifted it to me. And while the podcast was exporting last week, we played together. And let me tell you, that game,
it's a good one,
is extremely hard, but oh so fun. Fun.
I love to hear that.
We ended up even joining it because you can play up to 4 people. So there's 3 of us. We ended up squatting up with one more. We got Insourcel back. He's, if you remember watching the Super Gamer Boy streams back during COVID or in 2020, the peak streaming content from Super Gamer Boys back then. He's from back then, and he doesn't game as much very often. He kind of like shows up and then he disappears for months, and then he'll show up again and play. Because now he has a real job, he's not unemployed.
Yes, of course.
So, but he happened to be on, and he jumped on and played with us. So we had 4, and he had played it already. So he was kind of our expert, Sherpa-ing us through it. And let me tell you, by the end, he was so done with our shenanigans. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, I thought you guys would be better at this. It's like, what? This game's so hard. So the idea, I guess I haven't really explained the premise. You're in hell, right?
Okay.
You've fallen to the bottom of hell.
Okay.
And you have this opportunity to get out of hell but you have to do it chained to other people. So it's this crazy obstacle course where you're jumping over like all sorts of like crazy platforms and ladders and spikes and trampoline jumps and walking on super narrow walkways, all sorts of like crazy obstacles that are even hard to describe unless you just play the game or watch the game. But yeah, so you're trying to get out of hell while chained to 1, 2, or 3 other people. And it's hard to maneuver through an obstacle course when you're chained to other people. Let me tell you, it's like one person falls off the edge. Well, they don't fall back to the bottom again, but like you have a chance to pull them back up. But then, okay, maybe 2 people fall off the edge now. Now it's like, oh shoot, we might fall. And that's the whole idea, is you climb up as far as you can go. And then if you fall off the edge, more than likely you're falling all the way back down to the bottom layer of hell, and you have to start all over again. And that's all it is. You just keep going up as high as you can. Then you fall up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's incredibly difficult and incredibly frustrating, while also being just absolutely hilarious at times. Like some of the shenanigans you get into, not even intentionally. Like it's just like, how did this happen? Like there's enough jank in the game where crazy stuff happens. It was very fun. So yeah. If anyone out there is chained together, let me know. I'll squat up with you. It's fun screwing around in that for a little bit. Other than that, that's it. Hopefully more Neurodiver in my future. And another one I've been hankering to get into. I only played the tutorial of, but I'm thinking if I can finish Neurodiver this week, I might jump into Cult of the Lamb.
Ooh, baby. Now you're talking. What a game Cult of the Lamb is.
I'm not 100% decided on it. I do want to go back at some point, but I don't know if that's the next game I want to do, if I want to try something else for a little bit. But I know Neurodiver is just like a few hours. Like I could knock that out in a couple days.
Right.
So it's like, all right, I'm leaning on Cult of the Lamb. So we'll see.
Oh,
stay tuned.
Man.
Next week to find out what game I play, or if I play any games.
That too.
All right. Well, that is it for the show. Thank you all so much for listening. If you love what we do and want to help us make this show bigger and better and badder than ever, support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys.
I don't know about badder.
You know, bad in like the good way. Like,
we're
bad.
Okay.
Like you're a bad boy, Adrian.
All right, man. Don't make it weird.
Patreon.com/supergamerboys. Supports over there starting at just $1. And we have more tiers up from there. So think about supporting us over there. We appreciate it. All of you awesome folks who use your hard-earned cash to get... So what's going on?
Nothing. You just continue.
All right. You can also support us at sgbstore.com. Buy our sweet merch made by some sweet boys over here.
you know,
I'm just trying so hard to make it as weird as possible for you.
And you're succeeding. And yes. You know what? It's okay. It's a bit. I know.
Buy some sweet t-shirts. We got swim shorts, we got glasses, we got hats, we got anything you want in our summer collection and more, because we got our classic collection over there as well from the before days. So if you want our classic
before days,
if you want our classic mug or a cozy crew neck sweatshirt, think about going to sgbstore.com. Buy new sweater for your grandma for Christmas. She needs it. Rate and review us where we it's just,
all right.
It's just like my goal to get you to react, and I love that it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do
because I'm listening and doing something, and I'm like, you pause before you like you're thinking to say something weird, and I'm just like, all right, let me look up because I know he's trying to do something.
What's it gonna be? Rate and review us where you can. Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Both those places would be very much appreciated. Obviously, the more ratings and reviews and the better they are, the higher up we can start showing up on those charts. So think about reviewing us over there. It would help tremendously. Shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Tonight, we're listening to the Yate and Jack Sriracha mix. You can find them on Apple Music and Spotify. Links will be in the show description on YouTube and podcast apps. So check those links, click those links, listen to those links right now, or else Adrian will find you and shove that iPod down your throat. You can find us during the week over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
All right, Adrian, that's all I got.
All right, good. Thank goodness. Folks, thank you for hanging out with us with another episode and another week of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As always, we appreciate any and all forms of support, whether it's just hanging out with us here in the live stream, just chatting away, checking out the VOD or on-demand content. It all helps. Or subscribing on our YouTube channel or to the Patreon. It all helps us to continue to do what we love and keep this thing going. See you again soon. Keep an eye out for the next time we go live. And until then, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Oh, the Nintendo San Francisco store is hiring a manager. I'm out of here, buddy. Let's go. Apply.